2011, that Texas has more jobs, new jobs, than the rest of the 49 states put together during that 10-year time frame. And he's an academic. He doesn't lie. He knows these things, right? Bob Helms, right? And you know what? I mean, that's why we're here. And of course, Richardson is the eye of the hurricane. And we all know that. Whether it's the transportation, it's an unbelievable corporation. It's 100,000 population, which I am convinced you get much bigger, you can't get your arms around the things that are important. You don't get a chance to interface with beautiful people. It's just too big. And it's also big enough that you can do a lot of cool stuff, and you can spend great funds and resources on great projects, which as a smaller community you're more limited in. So there's something special about that 6-figure community that starts with a 1. And I think to some degree the RISD and the PISD, address the same kinds of issues as well, and have the same appreciation for the value of the numbers. Our corporations, if you go back to Adam and Eve and you start with TI and Rockwell Collins, Walker Rockwell International, and all the unbelievable companies that have been generated out of that. I mean, this telecom core thing is really, really cool, because it reminds me of the Adam and Eve story and all of the offspring that come around from a corporate standpoint. And many of you I've had a chance to work with these companies, and I can't tell you how upbeat it is to see the unbelievable talent that our corporations have, that then feed it back into all the community groups and City Hall and all of the public projects that we have. And an unbelievable education system. And I'm absolutely convinced, and Mr. Dr. Cox with SMU this morning says that the only thing that will keep our area from being the greatest of the great is if we don't invest in our education systems. And I know there's big, I'll buy some of that type of logic with a lot of the tables here that feel that same way. But, whether it's UT Dallas, our next Tier 1 university, as we all know, just a matter of time, and it will happen. Or Richardson College with Kay now running the show. It's just a tremendous organization in there. And of course, our RISD and PISD with Kay, and now Richard Mackin, who's a great friend of the city of Richardson, over at PISD, their new superintendent. I mean, these institutions are beyond reproach. There's nothing that can be any better. And so I'm absolutely convinced, as I look across the crowd, we've got the education, we've got these corporations, we have our institutional players with DART and our commissioners' courts and all these other agencies that affect us, and our real estate community. It's kind of fun. When I started city management, I probably would not have thought that I would spend, roughly 50% of my time in development. And fortunately so, because it is so exciting. And what's really made it exciting, and maybe it's just, again, unique about this 100,000 population that's got traversed by these great roadways that we have here, with great public school systems, et cetera, that make us be in position to deal with the best real estate community in the country. But I've never met a schmuck in real estate. I mean, these are all people who have tremendous integrity and credibility, and they've grown to be really good friends. They remain good friends even when they put deals in Las Colinas and Legacy. But I am taking note about that. The Dallas Business Journal and the Dallas Morning News, Steve Brown, they're writing about our deals all the time. They're writing about the real estate community and the development community that's out in this audience. And, I love opening up the paper and reading about you and reading about us. And so, when you look at 35 years, it is not difficult to see why you want to be here. Man, it has not been a trial in any way, shape, or fashion. Closest I ever came to leaving here, I don't even want to tell you where I was going to think about going. And it was, I remember Chris and I, we made I can talk about West Texas because I grew up there, but I don't want to go back. Like visiting, so we remained here in Richardson with the idea that we could continue to to evolve and grow and be with an unbelievable city team. We've got about 1,000 employees, and they are just tremendous people who do tremendous work on behalf of this community day in and day out. My partner here, Bill, the Bills, as we were called, which was kind of coined with what made, to this day be the greatest achievement that I've been able to be involved in, notwithstanding the relationships that I've had with the council and grapevine programs. But certainly the Texas Instrument Wafer Fab was like the deal of the deal. I mean, $3 billion can buy half of the world, okay? And Bob and Phil are over there. But when I worked in that project, Bill and I developed a friendship, and ultimately, as a result of that, he came to Richardson. And now, I always love it when the Bills are involved because it's pretty cool. You've done a great job here today, Bill, and I want to thank you for what you've done here. And Mr. Bradshaw, you would think, being the son-in-law of my mayor and my very close friend, Gary Sago, you would treat me better than this. But thank you and the committee for doing this. This is just an awesome experience for me, and I thank y'all very, very much.